All right. Welcome to Gen X Rated Tuesday edition. How are we doing, Billy?
Good. I see you got the memo about wearing your black shirt. Excellent.
Oh, yeah. You know, it is Tuesday and shining.
There you go.
Real nice. Well, thank you for noticing. It's sunny, but it's a little chilly today.
It's a little chilly, but don't worry. It's supposed to be like 90 tomorrow.
Unbelievable. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. The temperature swings we're having. The environment's just out of balance. And if you look at any European press, they're going to tell you all about it because it's hard to miss, except for here because we're being distracted by nonsense and more.
Yeah, I mean, Nebraska's still on fire. You're not seeing anything about that.
You're absolutely right. That's 100 million acres right now. It was 850,000 acres. Now it's 100, or it's I guess a million acres now. But it's not really being contained. It's not really being talked about. And there's more to it than just putting out the wildfire. I mean, tell me again, what is underneath it. The largest aquifer is called?
The Ogallala.
Yeah, and that is under, let me pull that up too. That is under Nebraska as well as some other states, which I will pull up here. And the point is they're losing 3 feet of water every year. So I don't know what's necessarily going to be left. Here it is here. And, you know, water's a precious commodity, obviously. But you can see Nebraska, it's giant per volume, most in the world. Colorado's got their own problems. It goes through Kansas. And it's just, we're not really paying attention. It's the worst in state history. This is, again, the largest aquifer in the world. And it's draining at a rate of 3 feet per year. Industry intends to just suck out all the water, turning in the Great Plains into essentially a great desert. And when they use numbers like 2050, seems like it would be a long time ago or a long time into the future.
It's not.
It really isn't.
It'll be here before you know it. And I mean, what is their point? Like, how are they even allowed to do this? I mean, it's suicidal. You can't do that. It goes against the public good. You're going to turn the whole Great Plains area into a fucking desert. All that water is gone for what? So some people and investors can make shit tons of money.
Well, the land will probably come pretty cheaply if you want to build on it. Maybe some data centers.
Nobody wants to build on a desert. And, you know, once you suck all that water out, it's whatever you built there is useless. You can't live there. So I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. They're, you know, there's no forward thinking in this country anymore. There really isn't. It's just billionaires looking to get richer, morbidly wealthy people looking to get even more wealth at the expense of the greater good, at the expense of our climate, at the expense of everybody else. I mean, look at what's going on in Iran. There was no forethought there. This war was basically Trump wanting to go to war because his buddy Netanyahu pestered him into it. You know, you can ask any 3, 4, 5 people in that administration why we're there, and you're going to get a different answer from each one of them because there is no answer. There's no coherent plan. There's no coherent thought. It's the same way they are with just everything, man. Destroying the climate, draining all the water, all the resources.
Dumbing down America.
Yeah, you've got people cheering this on. It's like, do you have any idea how this is going to affect you and your children?
And we're not even seeing it, but the warnings are coming. You can see it with the airlines, just based on fuel costs. They're cutting flights like it matters. Now TSA is saying to get there 4 hours before your flight if you even want a chance at of actually making your flight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, soon, and maybe that's the key, Pete. They don't want people traveling. Maybe there was talk about just the energy crisis itself will have you working at home. It'll have you, I mean, they talked about this being worse than it was in 1973 and 1979 combined, where you could go get gas on odd or even days, depending on how your license plate number ended.
Yeah. I mean, we're old enough to remember that.
For sure. They called it an energy lockdown, essential travel only. It sounds a lot like COVID, which a lot of people had issues with. Yeah, I don't see how that's going to be helpful to us. And now we're talking about the Iran war putting Marines in harm's way. They said Trump kind of panicked over the weekend when he saw the Asian futures were down 1,600 points. So then he wanted to come out and say, hey, we're going to stop bombing for 5 days in order to get enough troops in the area to put boots on the ground, which is what he's being told. Not to mention the Saudis who paid Kushner, Jared, their son-in-law, $2 billion for some made-up fund that he's not making any money for them with. He's in the pocket, and they've been talking, and Saudis want this war to continue. They want to continue bombing Iran, and the disruption's good for them. So if it's good for the Saudis, who Trump loves, and who are paying Jared, what works for us or matters to us really doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, America last in Trump's book. That's that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's so disturbing and so frustrating. And
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, there's literally no plan. You know, at first he came out and said, "Well, we're having great talks, very productive talks." You know, uh, he's just buying time. He's like that kid that didn't do his homework and he's just making something up. And, you know, it's just, when are people going to start to see through this? This guy is a fucking con artist. Always has been, always will be.
And I hope he's as lucky as Bart praying for snow, so he doesn't have to take the test, because this guy's luck hasn't been great. And as we are at war and as we are making the way, 5,000 Marines are heading over to the Persian Gulf. Where's this guy? Graceland.
Graceland. Whoa.
I mean, look how happy Bondi is. I mean, you would think that she just had 10 people deported the way she's smiling. I mean, it's unbelievable. And this guy's such a dope. Look at her. Oh, so lovingly looking with her phone in hand at this guy looking inside of an old helmet. Yes. Elvis served. Yes, he was into karate. He did jujitsu. Trump's question was, do you think I could take him? No, I don't think you could take him. Like,
not on your best day.
Jesus. I mean, like, everything comes back to him. It's all about him. Him trying to sit at the table didn't look very positive. He staggers. Him trying to get down 3 steps, also kind of an adventure. I mean, the man's not in his right mind, but he's not in very good health either. I wish both of those would accumulate faster, because him being the guy making these decisions is sending us into doom. They talked about these 4,000 troops. If they try and take Karg Island, which is 90% of Iran's crude oil goes through there for export, you're going to be putting these Marines on an island, literally on an island. Let's just show the size compared to the country of Iran. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's pretty freaking tiny.
Mm-hmm.
And here it is again up in your upper left. You're just asking for trouble. And maybe that's what they want. Maybe they don't care about the casualties that would come off that. But you cannot put these guys in harm's way like that. It's just insane. Whether you're trying to occupy it or form a blockade, nothing good can come with that. We've already seen Iran's missile swarms. You'd think there's a defense to that when you're on an island by yourself. We have a great fighting force and much respect for the men and women serving, but leadership is failing.
Miserably. Yeah. I mean, there's one airstrip on there. So how are you going to get supplies into them?
I can't answer that question.
Maybe
you should be in government, because at least you're asking questions.
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to do airdrops? You know, I mean, this is insane. There's no plan.
Well, and I guess the plan on the backside is just to make money, because after he saw the Asian markets, then he came out and said, "Oh, we're not going to do that. We're having great talks." And then
Very productive talks.
And the photo was him talking into a mirror, because the Iranians said nobody spoke to him, and it's just a bunch of nonsense. But prior to the markets opening, a lot of people had made investments and then made a lot of money because, hey, look at this, the markets are up. Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
And then Friday, I'm sure the news will come, because this guy's so transparent. Either they'll start the invasion of the island in question, or they'll start bombing whatever. I mean, it's like it's just Groundhog Day with these guys, and the whole basis is they just keep making money.
Yeah.
What you're gonna do with all that money?
You can't eat it when there's no fertilizer and no food, but I guess they'll be the last ones to starve. I'm sure that, they don't give a fuck about anybody but themselves.
Well, they talked about the farmers, and then the agriculture lady says how much Trump cares. But the bottom line is more than half of our farmers have no fertilizer secured for spring. It's March 24th. Spring is here.
Mm-hmm.
You can't grow without fertilizer. You got a serious problem. And as much as they care about the farmers, this is a major issue. So where's the care now?
There is no care. They don't care. And, if there's no fertilizer and the farmers can't farm, there's no food. Food costs, spike again. Yeah, I just, there's no plan here. There's no foresight. They don't give a fuck.
And before we get too far away from the environment, after talking about Nebraska, this is Hawaii, and they've been flooded and haven't seen anything like this in more than 20 years. People being evacuated, and it's just not even really a news story. It's just crazy.
Oh, I know. Well, again, I mean, they're censoring what we're seeing.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Nebraska, Hawaii, actual casualty rates.
Yeah, they're concerned like maybe this whole thing on Friday would be an event in order to equate some of the casualties that we're not learning about now. You do have one of our battleships going back to be serviced because the toilet's plugged up. Seems like it could be a little bit more than that. 12 to 14 months they're going to be out of service. What happened there? Like, what? Why are we not being told anything?
No, we forgot to pack the plunger. We got to go back to San Diego and get the plunger. Leave that.
That would be awesome. One more photo of Hawaii because it's hard to miss, and Hawaii's already on an island, so I don't know. They're one of our states, and we just don't seem to really care. And FEMA doesn't have money anyway, which was the original plan.
Yeah.
So no help from the government. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Don't be such a wuss.
Yeah, well, hopefully, Zuckerberg built himself a compound out there, so hopefully that's underwater.
Yeah, you can hope and dream, but yeah, hopefully he had some foresight. I'm going to put this up. TSA is still a thing. We talked about 4-hour wait times. We talked about ICE being at the airports, really doing nothing, walking around. They did accost a citizen in San Francisco. I believe she looked like she might have been Asian. So they tackled her and gave her a good roughen up because, I guess that's why they're there to help TSA. The lines now are 4 hours. You're being told to get there before. And here's what ICE is doing. Coffee break.
Do we get a law enforcement discount?
Well, I point that out because they are getting a stipend. So you and I are paying for coffee for them.
Oh, fuck these assholes.
I know. And they're not wearing masks. So I guess the doxing doesn't happen in airports, just on the streets when you're murdering people.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you can get a look at them. I saw some people asking them if they were here to kill some people, or they said probably not. So we shall see. But these all seem like distractions, as basically the bottom seems to be falling out. We had 82,000 foreclosures of U.S. homes in the last 60 days. January had 42,000 foreclosures. February was another 40,000. Part of it is because of long-term unemployment. People have been unemployed long enough that they're not even looking for work, or people that are underemployed. I happen to be a lawyer, but I can also make a mean cup of coffee. That's what I'm getting paid for. And just houses quietly just going underwater just with costs. I mean, we talked a little bit about the costs of just things in general. I mean, we know healthcare is a problem. The subsidies really helped. And without them, 2 million people now no longer have healthcare. And when you compare healthcare from 2019, which was about $400 to $500 a month, it's now between $600 and $800 a month. But what are you getting for your coverage? I mean, you're getting nothing. You're basically paying double for less. And then when you can't get care because you're rejected by your insurance company, you're literally paying that monthly fee as a tax just for being an American.
Yeah, yeah, basically. It's just, and we're brainwashed into thinking this is the way it should be. Oh, I don't want that socialized medicine. Why? The rest of the world has it, and people seem fairly happy with it. Is it perfect? No, but it's a shit ton better than what we have.
Yeah, you're right. And I'm sure we could work on that and find an in between, but we're not really interested because, our Congress has gold-plated healthcare. What do they care?
Yeah, they don't care. And again, this goes back to racism, and it goes back to the 40s. It goes back a long way, the roots of this. The American Medical Association fought against this when Truman tried to do it. Well, we don't want black people having the same kind of coverage that white people do.
Of course not.
Can't have that. I mean, it's just disgusting. But the racism is baked in. It always has been in this country, and you see it in so many facets of our life. And it's a fucking problem for everybody.
Well, and we've really whitewashed it when you see Confederate flags walking through the House of Representatives and stuff. It normalizes it, makes it seem like it's okay, but it wasn't okay, and it's still not okay.
No, and then, at the same token, you see motherfuckers walking around with Nazi flags too, flying a swastika, and they don't care.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So average rent $3,000 a month. In order to get first and last month's rent, you need to be making about $9,000 a month, which is about $108,000 a year in salary if you want to rent. Otherwise, you better have some parents that are still living, because that's probably where you'll be. One statistic I found interesting was that the top 1%, which have a minimum net worth of $11.1 million, they now own $25 trillion worth of stocks and mutual funds, which is equal to the same amount as the remaining 99% of the country. And it was pointed out that the last time this happened was in the late 1920s.
Huh, what happened then?
Yeah, crash.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just kind of setting ourselves up. But I think, to your point, when you talk about Zucker's compound and the Bezoses, they have been planning these bunkers. I mean, so long ago we talked about it with Gene that who's going to be their head of security and how long is that going to last?
Yeah.
But they can be a bit delusional themselves. I mean, Elon's no genius. He just bought companies that were successful.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Maybe they're not so smart, but we are finding that the wealth gap is growing. Gallup poll said U.S. workers are struggling in life, almost 49%, whereas those that are thriving was at about 46%. We can guess where some of those top guys came from. And we're just doubling down, like you said, we're living in the past. We're not progressive at all. China, I'm seeing they have these solar panels that bump off of a truck that can be taken to any disaster area for power. They're able to store power. They're doing it on top of oceans. They're just so far advanced, and I'm not blowing China, but they are looking at what's actually happening instead of just pounding their chest and saying how amazing they are, and coming up with, alternative energy. Whereas here we're we're literally going to pay a French company $1 billion to walk away from 2 U.S. offshore wind leases because we don't want it.
Trump doesn't want it.
Yeah, we would rather invest in fossil fuels, which is, what he keeps pushing. And there's your imbalance. There's the heating of this planet. We're just not paying attention, or we think we know better. It's one or the other.
Yeah, I mean, it's just we're so dumbed down and we're so divided, and we're so busy fighting each other. We're not realizing that we are careening toward disaster on so many levels: environmental, financial. It's just societal. You're going to see suicide. I mean, you're literally watching the breakdown of our air travel system. I mean, you saw that horrible accident at LaGuardia.
Yeah.
An overworked controller trying to monitor 3 things at once. The guys in the fire truck were on a different channel. One person wasn't paying attention. And it's just, that should never have happened. And yet you're seeing it, and you're seeing a breakdown. This used to be, what was it, between 2008 and 2020? Was it? We had 0 fatalities. Yeah.
I want to say, as soon as this guy came in, we started having air traffic issues. It started in DC with that black op helicopter and the American Airlines, I think, with the skaters on it.
Yeah, and he blamed it on DEI.
Yeah.
Disgusting. And you know, and the roots of this go back a long way, and you blame both parties because nobody's been able to fucking get this figured out. They just paper over it or patch it up and move it along and kick it down the road. But at some point, you know, the bill comes due, and it's coming due now because you've got an incompetent, you know, idiot in charge of the transportation department. You had a very competent person in Buttigieg, but now you've got Sean Duffy, lumberjack champion.
He did do amazing amount of pull-ups. I believe it was 11, maybe, at the airport. Yeah, and he came out yesterday, and after this accident, what he said was, have some empathy for the president. Like, how about the pilot and co-pilot that were dead, or the flight attendant that was in the jump seat that was launched 100 feet away? Thank God, alive. But like, you know, why is it about him?
Because everything's always about him, and the only way these people keep their job is by fucking stroking him and blowing him at every opportunity. It would be comical to watch if this was a satire. If you watched the death of Stalin and the way those people acted around Stalin, it's funny, but it's not so funny in real life when it's here.
When we saw it yesterday, he had a meeting with DEA and I don't know, backing the blue, fill in the blank. They were in Tennessee. And of course, Hegseth was there, and Bondi was there, and Kash Patel was there. I mean, as if they have nothing else going on, no other issues. And Bondi got done saying so many nice things about Trump. He was half asleep during some of it. He was completely asleep when she looked over and noted him, sleepy orange guy. And then as soon as she was done, he said, hey, Kash, that's going to be pretty tough to top. I don't know if you're going to be able to do better than that. And then he went into a diatribe about him being a first generation, Indian here, and how Trump gave him opportunity and future generations the opportunity. And gosh, it was deep, and said it with a sincerity that how none of this is true.
It's unbelievable. These people are just sick, and it's just like watching. Those names will go down someday in history as being along the same lines as when you talk about Hitler, Goering, Goebbels, Himmler.
Yeah.
Bondi, Rubio, Patel, Trump.
Well, and they said yesterday, the quiet part out loud, that the whole architect of this, and that was Bondi's thing, is Stephen Miller. And Stephen Miller was watching Trump answer questions and taking some deep breaths because they don't know what this guy's going to say. Now, they're still doing their agenda. Steve, what's his name? Steve Bannon. It was his suggestion. Let's start putting ice in the airports. It'll be a good test run for election time.
Yeah, when we put them at your polling places. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And make no mistake, they're gearing up to fucking take your vote away. All of our votes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and if you're voting the wrong way, for sure, that's going to happen. And then a bit back on the SABAC, which we've been talking about, which still hasn't passed, thankfully. Voter fraud's at 0.002% out of roughly 1 billion votes. That seems like next to nothing. But if they do put the SABAC through, it'll disenfranchise 12 to 18% of U.S. voters. We know why. We jumped through hoops to get a real ID. That happened successfully in 5 states. That real ID, you still can't use it. It's a driver's license. You still can't use it to register to vote. And that's the thing. When I go to vote, they ask me for ID. I present ID. I think everybody does. This is about being able to register, and registering only those that they want to be registered, on top of taking the voter rolls from each state so that they can come up with a reason when you show up on that day why you can't vote, or maybe with the wrong place, or, I don't know, do this provisional ballot, which we're not going to pay attention to anyway. You need a passport. That's a poll tax that you have to pay to vote. Is not how America works, but here we are.
Yeah, I mean, this is the most un-American regime ever.
Oh, you don't like that? They're not going to vote for it? Well, let's put some transgender spice into this bill as well, right? No mutilation of people, and no, trans and women's sports. We've talked about this. There were 8 student athletes that were transgender. And just because that swimmer who was terrible needed to come up with something to talk about, fifth place, talked about how she qualified. It's almost like stolen valor, how she qualified for the Olympics. Not a thing.
No, you didn't.
Sorry, you're lying. And then it's 0.00196 of athletes that would be transgender. It's ridiculous. It's the same thing with 0.00001 of votes that came from undocumented immigrants. Like, it's just, you're looking at the wrong thing. This is all nonsense.
Yeah, it's not a thing. It's literally not a thing. And the majority of that small percentage of voter fraud that actually occurred came from GOP voters.
You're right. I mean, there's one in jail in Colorado right now, and Trump's trying to pardon her. But you know what? That's a state issue. She broke the law, and she's going to stay in jail for it. And and she did break the law. He acts like she was innocent. She wasn't innocent. You can't do. This is why we're doing the say back. I mean, you just can't have it both ways. But these guys really just can't focus on anything other than the cruelty and making money for themselves, enriching themselves.
Yeah, and keeping Trump happy.
And they're starting to use a lot of old Nazi terms, whether it's percent, talking about, the suffering now for later. It's like, you're just, why? We didn't have to go to Iran. They were not an imminent threat. Joe Kent came out again and was naming names. And of course, Mark Levine had to go to commercial because it was a little too much. Israel wanted this war. We didn't. Israel has Trump by the balls because his known love of underage and children.
Well, and also Miriam Adelson, the widow of Sheldon Adelson, the casino magnate, wrote him a check for $250 million. She loves Israel. And there's even a clip of Trump saying, "Oh, Barry, if she's here, she loves the country, but she loves Israel more, doesn't she?" I asked her, "Do you love Israel more or America?" She didn't answer. So I think she loves Israel more, folks.
I'm sure. And you're absolutely right. The money directs this guy no matter what. I don't know what's going to change the course. I think it's very concerning for the majority of Americans that aren't in this club. We have no leadership in the House or the Senate that can agree on anything. I mean, this standalone TSA bill should have been done. We shouldn't be living this. But I think they like seeing the chaos and they like seeing the cruelty.
Oh, yeah. They definitely do. And it distracts again from the Epstein files, the shitty economy, the fact that, people can't put gas in their car to get to work.
That's right.
To their job that is not paying them enough to fucking, live a decent quality of life. It is so fucked up on so many levels.
I paid $3.80 today a gallon.
Yeah, it cost me $40 to fill my tank yesterday.
$53 right here today, this morning. And and that's in 3 weeks' time because we were talking about, I got as low as what, 270, I think, maybe 280. But here we are.
Yeah, here we are. Thanks, Trump. But again, let's not forget there's something happening on Saturday where you can have a chance to come out and vent your frustration in a peaceful way.
No King's Day. Yeah. I did see that Springsteen is actually going to play at the No Kings rally in Minneapolis.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, pretty cool. So I don't know what's going on in St. Louis. I know we'll be downtown. We're supposed to go with Cole downtown, if you recall.
Yeah. So we're going to have to figure that out.
Correct. And we will be down there. So at least that's a good start. But yeah, come out and support the No Kings. You'll see a lot of like-minded people from all kinds of backgrounds supporting all injustices, which is across the board right now. Yeah.
I mean, unless you're a Christian white billionaire, come out to No Kings because they are not on your side. This regime and what's happening. They are not looking out for you. You can sit at home and watch Fox News and pretend that these people represent you, but they don't. You think you know, but you don't know.
And you don't need Jesse Waters giving you war advice. I mean, it's ridiculous.
That fucking guy. What a cuck.
I'd say how ridiculous it is, but as I say that, I mean, Hegseth was the weekend crew, and he's now head of the War Department. And Trump said today, we're having good talks and talking to the leadership, which he can't even name who it is. And it's one of those things where he said the quiet part out loud. Hegseth doesn't want to stop the war. He's the war guy.
Yeah, he's the war guy, you know.
So good for him, I guess, but like not good for the rest of us. And we're not living on an army base to protect ourselves. These guys in public are getting called out, and rightfully so. So they're just kind of hiding behind their fortress of money.
Mm-hmm.
And No Kings was one of my happy endings, so I won't use that. But it did remind me that Kid Rock might have to cancel his country tour because ticket sales, I think he sold about 200 tickets.
Surprised he sold that many.
I know. Well, he put out the video, "You fuck with Trump, you fuck with me," and he just looks pathetic and sad. But
yeah, have a seat, Bob.
I know you didn't really come from where you say.
Yeah, go shoot another case of Bud Light.
It's pretty amazing, and everything's more expensive. Not to keep pounding on that, but the fact that college tuition has increased 914% since 1983. Yeah, 83 seems like a long time ago, but it outpaces all other household expenses. So maybe they don't want you to get an education. Maybe that's it.
They don't. I saw something interesting in Kentucky. Dolly Parton has a program where kids, I think, up till the age of 5, get a free book every month to promote literacy, love of reading. Just, it's a great program for these kids, man. The parents, if they can't afford books every month, they don't have to pay.
Yeah.
Kids get a book and they get something in the mail, and it's just a win-win. But the state of Kentucky is cutting $1.2 million from that.
Oh, really? Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and
I really think there is something to that. They don't want an educated populace.
Well, it started under Reagan, as we always say, with the gutting of public education. That hasn't gotten any better. It's even more stale that you can't put up any kind of signage that might be, supporting of something that isn't supported by the orange guy. It's just crazy. Oh, that's not American. Well, it actually is. You choose what you're into.
Yeah, the only thing that's not American is him and his Republican Party. Extremely un-American.
It's true. So not only college tuition expensive, but the average monthly mortgage payment in 1987 was $760 a month. Granted, the 80s was a while ago, but the average monthly new car payment now is $774.
Well, it's kind of ironic because you know what? You're probably going to be living in that car. So
they said people are living right now in storage facilities, their car. Yeah, they're using what they have to use to try and get by, hoping that we're going to kind of stem the tide. But they keep putting more roadblocks in the way of doing that. Hey, let's bomb Iran. Like, that's a great idea. Hey, let's put boots on the ground in Iran. Hey, let's create an energy crisis while the world's on fire to begin with. Mm-hmm. Hey, let's make flying less safe. And again, to your point, we've never seen any kind of incident rate like this through the National Transportation Safety Board ever. And now it was just commonplace. These guys, oh, well, hey, it's the system. Or let's just go right to the Biden word, right? It's all about Biden.
Oh, it's Biden's fault.
Buttigieg, he wasn't doing this. He wasn't doing that. They didn't have carte blanche like these guys that have the House along with the Senate and the White House. The Republicans weren't letting shit get done. In fact, Mitch McConnell's thing with Obama was, we'll pass nothing. Is that governing? And that guy still voted for the SAVE Act, even though he probably fell down on the way up there and didn't know what he was saying. Like, why is he there? Grassley, the same thing, 92 years old. You really think that he can relate and he's working for you? No way, man.
Yeah.
Not a chance. So we'll see. But, the wealthy just continue to play their games. They talked about private equity getting into sports. Youth sports. And we talked about this with the people that were filming in ice rinks. I forget what the name of that company was, but similar to Live Barn. And then they weren't allowing parents to film or take pictures of their kids inside the rink. You had to buy it if you wanted it.
Yeah, I think it was Black Bear or something like that. Yeah. Buying up rinks and taking them over and apparently not even running them all that well, letting them fall into shit. Because again, when private equity gets involved, they're just sucking the money out. They're not looking to make whatever they buy, any company, any facility. They're not looking to make it better. They're looking to fucking drain it. If you watch Goodfellas, you know how that works.
Yeah, you're right. Drain the resources and then torch it or just
and light a match. Yeah.
Either or. It's funny because when they talked about youth sports and soaking of the parents, which was kind of the business model, um, because parents have never spent more time, investment, or money in these sports. But what they listed was baseball, soccer, and basketball, which I thought was kind of interesting. Travel baseball is expensive. They're bigger teams, but they didn't mention hockey. And to me, like these travel teams, everybody's a double A to triple A star. You go to camps.
Pee Wee Elite.
Yeah, you're doing camps during the summer. You're taking private lessons. You buy specialized gear. You got to have that $369 twig. You're not going to be scoring many goals. But now here's travel. I got to pay for a hotel. I got to pay for food on that hotel. When my kid's not on the ice, I got to entertain him somehow because what are we doing? We're out of town. And if it's my week to bring drinks, I mean, it's not affordable.
No, it's outrageous.
And that's one sport. So you're talking about baseball, which I do know is kind of bougie as well. Soccer, basketball, but I'm just like, that's why participation in youth sports is falling off a cliff because nobody can afford it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It is.
But again, once people figure out how to monetize things, it's full steam ahead.
Yeah. Well, I liked, not to sound old, but elite meant very few kids actually made that team because they were highly skilled. And as we see locally, the kids that came from former athletes, those kids didn't stay in town. If you were that elite, you were going up north. You were in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Wisconsin, even up into Canada to fine tune your skill. But you can believe it staying in your hometown that you're going to be the next big star, but they're just selling you a bill of goods.
No, you are going to end up where we all end up in
the
beer league. Yep, and that's not a bad thing.
It's a good thing, and
you love the game.
Yeah, and you should embrace it. Though your parents probably are going to be mad that they spent all that money and you weren't a first round pick.
Yeah,
give me a break.
You're paying what, 20, 30 grand a year for your hockey academy, where you're getting 6 hours of on ice instruction every day, and some online learning too. And you've created a kid that can't fucking deal with anybody who's not a hockey player. So yeah, good luck with that.
And you mentioned books, Dolly Parton donating books. I used to love as a kid getting anything in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
They used to have that thing at school where you could order books. That was probably 3 times a year, maybe.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that was pretty cool. But we had talked about a few weeks back that Sweden is investing $83 million back into textbooks. Again, they're not shunning screens and electronics, but they feel that it's a better way for these kids to learn. Something in hand, something to focus on, that's not such a distraction with pop-up ads to the things we just talked about. I'm sure I'll be getting hockey stick ads on my next page that I open up here because we talked about it. It's just crazy.
It is. It's insane.
So not to be, again, sound old-fashioned, but it might be nice to have a mix where you can get back to actually books in hand. And we know a lot of young kids that do like reading and are engaged by it. But it does take a special person to block out all the distractions. You and I can't do it. I'm way easily distracted, and I want to know what else is coming down my algorithm on TikTok because I seem to know I like true crime and some sports. So
yeah. So I mean, let's give the kids that have a chance at succeeding and having an attention span. Let's give them a chance at it.
Yeah, exactly. And it got us this far, so I'm not complaining.
Well, yeah.
The other thing is these data centers, which we're talking about, and we must have, and most towns are trying to vote not to have because of the amount of energy. Just one example, the largest data center in the world is planned to be built in Ohio. The cost is $40 billion, which we already have $40 trillion deficit. And then it will take about 3,700 acres, and it will require 10 gigawatts of energy, which is a third of the Ohio's entire power grid right now. So just to run it is going to take a third of what they're already producing now. So I can see why they're all in on fossil fuels. But again, you're not being very progressive, and you're jumping at these data centers without doing the research to find out like how effective it's going to be. It's kind of like we talked about before. Bezos wants to fire 600,000 workers. Some are probably contract anyway, but make everything automated. That's 600,000 people that don't have income now because they've lost their job. And who's shopping at Amazon if you can't afford to? Like,
Yeah. It's just it's not only cruel, it's short-sighted. And it's just, again, but it's just a fucking money grab. You think Jeff Bezos cares if you're unemployed? He doesn't give a fuck.
well, he might start to care if people aren't buying his crap.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't understand why when you have that kind of wealth, you can't afford to be a good person. You can't afford to be like, these people, they're like sharks, man. Unless we're making profits, we're dying. We got to keep moving, keep eating, keep swimming. Can't stop. Got to have it. Got to make it. It's like, no, you really don't. You're not a shark.
When you saw the OnlyFans guy died, he was 43. He was worth $7.4 billion, I think they said, basically by taking $20 off the top of everybody that's showing any kind of skin on his product. And he's dead at 43. So you got up to 7.5 billion almost, and it didn't save you.
Where'd that get you?
It got you dead. Cancer was the big winner. Some people felt that he was a huge Zionist and gave a ton of money to Israel. So there were some people that didn't feel all that badly for him. I'm not wishing ill will on anybody, but my point being, even all that money couldn't get him the care that it was necessary to beat cancer.
Yeah. So fucking spend some money, be a good person.
While you can, because life ain't forever.
It's true.
That is for sure. And I just want to throw one more thing in with the California Dream. Is more and more being acquired by Birthright Luck. I think we used to call it the Lucky Sperm Club. Born on third and thought you hit a triple type of thing. Rather than merit or hard work. In 2026, 25% of all homes in coastal California were acquired via inheritance. So sure, if you're really wealthy, you can afford to buy in the California market. But the point is that you're getting there based on being one of the lucky sperms. So
yeah, it was like that in the early 2000s when I lived there.
Well, it's only gotten worse. So I know that this regime talks about merit and merit this and merit that and working hard and whatever.
I don't think I know what that word actually means.
I know. I think it means DEI. Because that's what Kash Patel was. He wrote a book about Trump being the king and everybody loved it. And look how he got his job. But he does so poorly. But hey, we can't wait to see what comes down the pike next. But I'm seriously worried about Friday. I do feel like they're using our troops as pawns, just again to manipulate the markets and make money, to keep all of us down more or less. And essentially, if you look at the stock market, crashing the economy, which isn't ideal for any of us.
No, but again, these people don't care.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of care for us. That's why if they take away your vote, they care even less what you think, because what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, exactly. So get out there on Saturday.
Yeah, show up at the No Kings on Saturday. Find out where it is in your neighborhood and get there, because again, just the support of it, knowing other people feel the same way you do about science or about transgender or about same-sex marriage or about the arts or this war. There are a lot of like-minded people that it's really hard to connect. It's not necessarily going to happen through social media because they've kind of taken that away as well. So you're going to have to actually, get out there.
Yeah.
And we've had fun every time we've gone out, even the rallies that weren't No Kings, always some interesting signage. We'll hope for good weather and yeah, just being around like-minded people that are feeling your pain can sometimes make you feel better as well.
Yeah, it's a good energy. It really is. So get out there.
I think so too. All right. Well, I don't have anything more because now it just becomes kind of philosophical as to like how we're going to get over this hurdle, what's going to come down the pike next. Why are we seeing Trump every day talking about fighting Elvis and just the dumbest stuff, and then surrounded by people that are supposed to be working for us, Department of Justice, FBI, Department of War, all that stuff. They're just paying attention to this guy who, is wearing a diaper and his ankles are swelling every day and his mind is rotten. So
And he's making his subordinates wear ill-fitting shoes.
they seem to like that.
Fucking clowns.
Clown shoes.
So, literally.
Anyway, I do appreciate your time today, and we'll just keep trying to figure out what the next best step is. I'm not really sure right now.
All right.
All right. Well, you have a good rest of your day, and we'll catch up later.
All right. Sounds good, buddy. Good job.
All right. You too. Good talking to you.
You too.
All right.